Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of SAP Security. In this session we will be discussing about SAP Audit Information System. It's called AIS, Audit Information System. Especially SAP understands the security requirement for the data or the demand which the industry has, that SAP understands this very well. So SAP have quite a lot of services which is provided to customers for the security perspective. In that front, audit information security also one of them. Next, let us discuss about what is the purpose and the procedure of security audits. We already know lot of tools and procedures we already have for this SAP security. For example, user authentication, how to authenticate these users, like your user ID and how you identify each users using this user ID, whether it's a genuine user or not, that we know. That using the proper naming conventions you can control this. Then authorization protections, that means we need to ensure the user have the right authorization, what the user supposed to have. The next subject is auditing and logging, that we can have audit log and application log we can enable, then we can from there we can do the audits. We will look into this course what all the facilities we have. So right now what we are looking at, we are little bit going out of authorization and user administration. We will also look into all the additional functionality which is available for security related functionality in SAP system. All roles are assigned to the user consistent with user required activity. The first topic is all role assigned to the user consistent with users required activity. That means we need to ensure that the roles which we assign to the users are the one which the user required. So how do we ensure this? Normally what happens is, once the user joins in a company, based on the initial profile you will assign some roles. Let's say they are in AR, okay, account receivable. So you got some roles, you assign to the roles. After some time the user changed to HR, for example. There is a job change, then they change to a different department, then you tend to assign the additional roles, but you did not remove the old roles. Then these are all the inconsistency which comes in, that you are not intentionally assigning, but assign to this user. When they shift it, then you assign the next roles and said, okay, I'm going to do this finance job also for some time and we will do the HR job. But after some time the user will not come back and tell you, okay, you need to remove this. So these type of things will come up in the day-to-day activity. So we need to make sure that the user has the right roles. So how do we do that? You can have kind of authorization review policies, like every month or every quarter, that you take all the users and the assigned roles, then send it to their immediate superiors to confirm whether this is their roles or responsibility. In that way you can identify the user has the right roles or not. Or remote logon or assigned to the role consistent with the record actions and activity. So the remote logon, as we already seen, the RFC user does have the proper authorization, or is it consistent with their requirement. This you can use it going through this authorization object s underscore RFC. So we need to make sure that people does not assign the star there, that it should be based on the function which they are supposed to do. Is the security being monitored consistently? See, this again very important point, that we need to have a consistent policy that to monitor the security every month or every quarter. This again depends on the criticality of your business. We need to have a review of the security, meaning you need to review the security, like your password policies and system policy and security policy, these kind of policies. Then the next topic is, how does the security administrator know when the security threats are occurred? So we need to have a mechanism to inform the security admin that there is a security problem in the system. you can internally ticketing mechanism or some escalation procedures which will help you. On top of it, SAP provides security nodes. As I said beginning, SAP takes this security as very serious. So if you go to OSS, you have security as a separate topic there in the OSS. So if you register, then the SAP will send you the informations. It will notify you if there is a new security updates. It will notify you. Then you implement, that will come as a separate nodes, security nodes, or update of previous security nodes. Then you can implement these security policies. Maybe once I can log into OSS and show you how does the security OSS looks like. Let's go to, so this is our OSS. You can log into OSS using your OSS user ID and password. When you come to help and support, here you can see security nodes. These are the security nodes which is released by SAP. Whenever there is a new security node, it will be released here. If you click the news, then you can see what all the security news which SAP publishes. So all the security related information will be published here. So you keep monitoring this one, then you will be able to identify all the security issues which is identify different people, and you can implement these nodes. Let's say go to security nodes. You can search the security nodes here. Yeah, you can see there is all, this will give you all security nodes. That means the nodes related only to the security. So normally when you go to the nodes, then you will have quite a lot of nodes and you cannot identify the nodes. If you see, these are all only related to security. So what generally what the practice nowadays after introducing this, that every time you go back and check what all the new nodes which is released, and check whether it is applicable for you, or if let's say you don't know how to implement the nodes, you can go back to basis team or ABAP team or a BC team who can confirm to you, okay, this node is applicable to you or not. Confirm this, then you can implement this security nodes. And please note, the security nodes also have quite a lot of changes in the functional specifications. So whatever you do the change, you need to see the impact of the security nodes, and you need to ask the respective functional team or the basis team to check whether if there is any impact in the business. If there is no impact, then you can implement the node. This is for searching and display my security nodes. In this one, display my SAP security nodes. This is based on the licensing or the registered systems. SAP will recommend some security nodes. Presently in my user does not have any productive system. That's the reason we don't have this. Then we have an FAQ. This FAQ also quite nice, that you can go and start reading this FAQ. It's quite interesting. Lot of information is available in this FAQ. And you have the security patches. So this is based on the patches which is released by SAP. Then you have each patch as well as the details, and we have also the white papers. So in the white papers you have all type of security information. Let's say I want to know SAP HANA security overview, then I can get it here. So anything related to security, SAP security, you can get it here in the SAP security nodes. Okay, this is OSS. Let's go back to our presentation. Okay, next one is the role maintenance tool configured to provide maximum values? That is about our PFCG, whether the PFCG is properly configured and or the SU24 is properly configured, or the critical applications and tables are logged according to the business policies. So this we will come to that, how to log the tables and applications in our later sessions. The point here is that you need to have the proper logging mechanism, what is changed by whom. This is very important. So once event occurred, a security event occurred, then you can go back and see who changed, what table was changed. All this functionality is already available in SAP, but you have to make a judgment which table needs to be logged and which table does not need to be logged, or business policies. This depends on your criticality of the business or criticality of this particular table which contains the data. Next topic is how the security is involved in changes that is migrated to productions. Let's say you are doing some changes in the SAP system, how security is being involved. For example, you create a new program. As we seen in our previous sessions, the SC97, that call transaction code, this is being checked, involve some security consultant here. So these are all again policies. You need to define some policies, you need to inform the security consultant. Okay, then with the security consultant check and say that okay, this additional authorization checks needs to be added, things like this. So you need to have some policies to involve SAP security consultant in your migration process. And the system authorization required for user implemented correctly. As we see, the system authorization is the one of the critical authorization of our SAP. So we need to make sure that is implemented correctly. So that means the system authorization, all the background jobs, pool job, these are all system authorization. Whether this is implemented correctly, this is very important to check. Then the last one is the very important one. Are users administrated in accordance with corporate policy? Meaning user administration is, again as I said, is a very critical activity during the administration. So you need to have a proper policy to have the user created in the system. You need to have a proper policy, well-defined policy for user administration. This again based on your corporate policy. If you have, let's say, define how to identify the user as we seen before, so you need to have a naming convention. The naming convention can be your personal number, so you can identify very easily from SAP system that this is a personal number and this person belongs to. Or it can be some another naming convention based on your company code and stuff like this, or maybe a corporate ID number. On top of it, who will authorize these users? You need to define what is this person's responsibility. So when it comes to a user administrator, when it comes to a SAP admin, he should know, okay, this is a function of this user and this is the role which I am going to assign. So this, who is going to define this one, then who is going to approve this one? Data owners as well as the governors of the SAP system should have a proper procedures to authenticate and confirm, okay, this user which needs to be created based on that, and these are all the roles which needs to be assigned. So this needs to be well defined. Next, let's talk about what are all the tools available for security audits. First of all, audit information system, AAS, that we will be seeing detail in this session. The secondly, you have authorization information system. That authorization information system means here that SUIM. From SUIM you will get all the information which you required for authorizations or users. Then third one is system audit log, that we will see in the coming sessions. System audit log, this is also very important one, where we can enable an audit log in the system where it will log all the events of the SAP system in a different format. Then from the audit log you can trace back and what is the action which is done by a specific users. That does not mean this audit log will log everything what is done by a user. There is some restrictions and we will come to that in detail in our coming sessions. Next one is Computer Center Management System Alert, that is CCMS alert. We will also see this one. There is a tool which is again provided by SAP to create alerts for your basis administrator or management to see there is a event which has happened in the system. So this system audit log or also can be included in the CCMS. Then you can, in the form of alert, here there you can define your threshold. When based on the threshold, it will alert you, okay, this something happened here. Then you can monitor that. And we have the tracing tools, which we already seen how to trace the tools, and role maintenance tools. In the role maintenance tool like PFCG changes, we can trace it back, what was changed and how it was being changed, by whom it was changed. Okay, audit information system, AIS. See, audit information system is designed for internal as well as external auditors in order to meet their audit requirements. So internal auditors, external auditors, tax auditors or data auditors, everybody can use this audit information system. Using audit information system, the internal or external auditors who can collect the data in form of reports or from the collection of tables, you can read the data from the tables and you can download it or you can export it to a document or a different format, and you can, after that you can analyze these data based on what needs to be analyzed. And I would like to inform that in this particular sessions we will not be discussing about business audit. We will be discussed purely about the technical audit. The audit can be performed in two perspectives, business perspective as well as the technical perspective. So business perspective, we will call this as business audit. The technical perspective, we will call this as system audit. So we will be discussing about what are all the functionalities which is available in AIS, audit information system, on the system audit. On the business audit, that is again it's a different topic altogether, which we will not be discussing here, because you need to have the functional experience to go get into the detail of the business requirement, like the documents, how to narrow down the documents and informations and find the gap analysis in financial settlements. To do a gap analysis, you need to have the functional as well as the business knowledge. So we will be concentrating on the technical audit, how the audit information system can be used for an auditor as well as a security consultant to audit our SAP system. Now let's understand about audit environment. As we seen, AIS is an audit tool. SAP Audit Information System serves as a centralized repository for reports and queries and other views which is interest to auditors. So it's a collection of reports and queries and informations. AIS consists of audit reporting structures in a collection of structures. So AIS is basically to fulfill the requirement of internal and external auditors, and AIS also provides a new preparation method for audit standards or audit quality. So in general, AIS is a toolbox in SAP environment for audit information system. The target group, the AIS is targeted to whom? So AIS is mainly targeted to auditors, internal and external auditors, and system auditors and data security specialists. So what SAP done is that it has taken into consideration of all audit requirement around the world and made a collection of all these reports and programs, as we seen before, into one audit tool. So it is mainly targeted to internal auditors, external auditors, system auditors and data security specialists. This AIS auditing covers wide range of tasks. It includes like common security reports used in verify the aspect of system administration task. For example, operating system instant parameters, RFC destination and stuff like this. It also includes the system task performed by many users such as background processing, printing and change request management. Let's say user administration authorization. This auditing option provides various ways to ensure the users are managed and authorizations are assigned properly in the day-to-day basis. This session also provides the information about the roles authorizations and the authorization changes which is performed in the roles. And the next one is repository and tables. This session is mainly targeted to discover who has the direct table access in the productive system, and it also provides the information like table logging, especially related to sensitive financial data. And this section also provides information on change document and their uses in our SAP systems. Basically, it provides the change document. As you can see, this audit system auditor and user and authorization auditor as well as the repository auditors, this is the standard SAP roles which is delivered for this purpose. So this role contains, there is two major portion of these roles. One role will have all the authorization objects and other role will have all the menus. Let's check in our system. So if you go to our system, you go to PFCG, let's say SAP underscore a auditor star. Select the single roles. The roles starting with SAP underscore auditors, these are all the roles which has the menu. For example, I select one of these and say display, and you can see you have all the menu, audit instructions, and it has the documentation as well as some links to SAP, like this kind of information. This is for the menu. And if you go to the next set of roles which is delivered for this same reason is SAP CA underscore auditors, auditor, sorry, not CS, it's CA. These roles have only authorization objects. For example, select this one, so it does not have any menu. If you see, it has all the authorization objects. Yeah, so the roles which is starting with SAP underscore auditor has the menu, and the roles starting with SAP underscore CA underscore auditor have all the authorization objects. So we have two parts. As we discussed before, as SAP recommendation, you copy this role into your own namespace and use that for any modifications. And as I said, this have two different part. One is for menu, it has only menus, it does not have any roles, and the other one is only have the authorization objects. So you need to combine these together to assign any roles to the users. So as you seen, we have three different roles. First one is SAP underscore auditor underscore SA underscore BC, this is for system auditor, and we have SAP auditor SA underscore BC underscore CUST underscore TOL, this is for repository table, and we have user and administration, we have BC underscore CCM underscore user. So we have three different roles for the purpose of system auditors. As we discussed that this is only the menu roles which we are talking about, we have related authorization roles. Let's go to the system. Okay, let's first one is the display role. Yeah, system display. This have only authorization object, does not have any menu. Okay, this is only display. So this specific role along with the menu role will give access only to display. You may think, why then what is the difference between the system as well as display? Why you have it separately for display? In many of the companies, for auditors, they will have a very strict policy. They will have only the display authorizations. So using the exact same menu path, and assign combination with this one, then the user, whether it's an internal or external auditors, will have only the display authorization. So that is the idea behind that. Let's say if you prefer to give them more access, then you can provide this specific role. This have more authorization than the display authorization. So as I said, in combination with this one, this have, let's say this have authorization more than display, that they can have additional authorization. So you assign this role along with the menu role, then in combination of both of these, they will have menu role but with an additional authorization, not just display. But if you assign the menu role along with the other role which has display, then they will have only display from the AAS menu. So same like this for the business audit also, we have separate roles. Let's say something called APPL, yeah, application, stand for application. Let's say 4. Okay, this new role. Okay, this is for the system audit, this is the base role, and we also have menu roles for the system audit. Let's go to auditor, yeah. Let's say for example, if you go to FI, yeah, let's say FI AP, account payable. So along with this one, let's say if you go inside, and you can see the menus which is related to account payable. So with this authorization, with the base authorization, then they will have the menu for FI AP. So like this, for each business process or application, they have a separate role as a menu role. So we can assign one base role and assign the menu role based on the requirement of the specific internal or external auditors. So we have it for CO, for data extractor, FI, HR. Again, the data extractor also used in business audit, tax, and all these things. Okay. So let's go back to our presentation. So using audit information from the system audit perspective. Let's say after implementing, after you configure all the roles or to your own namespace, then you are ready to use the AAS system. Let's have a look into our system. Assign this role to one of the user, then we can understand how does this will work. So go back to our system. In our scenario, what we will do is we will create a new user for auditor, and we will assign all these roles to the user. So we have one base role and we have three different type of menu role for system audit. So let's create a user first. Let's use 01. Cut this one. Let's say audit security user 1. Oh no, let's start use our standard naming convention. Okay, let's security auditor 2. Let's say I'll create a user, audit user, we put a password. This is my user. Okay, let's go to the roles, because this is a standard SAP roles. We are supposed to copy it in a new role and assign to the user, but for our demo purpose and to make it fast, we'll just use the SAP role as it is. For in your case, you need to copy into new your own namespace and do the modification. Let's search only the SA auditor. Let's say underscore SA. Okay, we need the BC one. Okay, we have the menu, and let's go to user and go to the change mode. Let's assign to the user what we created, auditor 2. Okay, then the second role is BC CA. So the second role is for repository and table. Yeah, this one. Change. Okay, here also we will assign our user. And the third one is CCM user. This is for the user administration. Okay, so if you may see that user comparison was not required. Maybe you are a little bit surprised to see that one. You don't see any user comparison. The reason is you don't have any authorization data, so you don't have any profile there, so you don't need to compare these users. That's the reason you did not get it. Okay, then let's assign the base role. Let's say system auditor. Go to change. Then assign to this user. Okay, here we need to do the user comparison because this role have authorization data. Okay, now let's log in using this user. Now you can see all the menus. From the menu what we have assigned, let's say top security reports, we have different report display profile parameter is the report. So you don't need to go and search for individual reports, you have all the reports here. And just simply execute and you can see all the parameter detail. So you have all the reports which is collected together and put into one tool. This is the audit information tool. So right now since we assigned 3 different menus, it looks little bit confusing. Maybe you can also create a separate menu. Generally when we will assign only one menu role to the user, otherwise you can create additional sub menu in the role which you will be creating and group this menu based on the roles. Same like that, you have a security guide. If you double click here, it will directly take you to services.sap.com/security as we seen before. If you say allow, it will directly take you to the OSS, that is Service Marketplace, directly to the security. So you come to the Service Marketplace, you are in the SAP Security Guide. So here you can refer or what is new and what all the information. If you need additional information, you can directly refer here. So it has the collection of informations which is required for this system auditors. Say, let's say we need to have authorization, say, logon rule parameters or initial passwords. So it directly take you to the initial password, the table USR 40, which describes what are all the exceptional initial passwords. This is all about audit information system. So let's go back. Okay, with this we are coming to the end of the sessions. We will be looking at all these tools in the coming sessions. Thank you very much. Bye bye.